queen, the rook. Chess secrets. Chess secrets. Hello. Thank you. Chess secrets. What happened? Are you ready? Not even grandmasters, no. One thing that everyone knows is that the king never gets captured. But another is that nothing is inscribed. Oh. Eggs have been made. Let me check something. Okay, wait. Дай поставлю. Сюда поставлю.
Иди там встань куда-то.
Sorry about that. I'm back. Notice what's missing here. Or what's wrong with this chessboard. You see, the 8 file is supposed to be black, but instead it's white. And here it's supposed to be white, but instead it's black. You can learn chess through this way as well. Did you ever try it? Did you ever try chess playing it like this way? Where the king is in the queen's spot and it's different. You still know that it's the E file and it still works. You can play like this, right? It's really cool. Ay. So if you play like this, instead you go first E5, then you move here. It's way different. Position is way different. Way, way, way different. So if you play like in this position, you'll probably notice different patterns that you haven't noticed in chess. And many people haven't even really tried this position yet. Maybe you should try this position and see what patterns you see. So let's try a game with this position. Here goes. E5, E4. It's different, you see. So it's kind of opposite, but it works this way as well. What position can you come up with? This is the C6 square. Nice C6. We go here. Come up with different positions and you sort of come up with better plans. It's really cool, right? See, this position is way different, but it works. So maybe might move here. Really cool position, right? I really wonder what position you could come up with this way of shaping or starting the position in this position. It's really weird because I wonder what you could come up with. It might be this way. And come up with something new. You might also come up with this move. Come back. So let's start off with d5, then d4. So what position? What will be the name of the position? It's no longer Queen's Gambit or something. It's kind of different, but it works. You come up with different positions as well and figure stuff out. Maybe you could go with your knight and just practice. It's really cool what you can come up with. Different position and different type of thinking is required, and you come up with better ideas. And castling is different, and everything is different. I wonder if you could edit it somehow on the website and play this game this way. It would be really cool. What else was there? There was... What is different about this position? Let's just go here, here, here. Castle. It looks different, and it's way different. So let's play out some moves. Let's see. Okay, so what do we come up with? Here. Then we go, let's say, over here. Go here. That goes here. Go with the knight. Then go bishop over there. Castle. And castle. Opposite side castle. So what you have here is a completely new position and a completely new way of thinking. So to come up with new positions every time and new ways of thinking in chess, and you'll be more creative and come up with better moves. See how this is 8? It's supposed to be 1. It's supposed to be A, but it's 8 and H. So the king is in the G8 square. And it's white, and it's white to move first. So you still have white moving first, but it's different. It's really cool, right? When you play it differently, it's a new angle of thinking. You come up with brand new ideas. You sort of switch the angle, and you come up with new ideas, and chess is all new. Brand new version of chess. A brand new version of chess, I think a lot of people come up with this, but they haven't really played it anywhere. I haven't seen it anywhere. So you come up with something and actually does create something new. It's much cooler. Maybe what could be next? What was the last move? I think Black Castle. So I'll probably play this move, which is D5. It's protected anyways. Or you can move the knight. This works as well. You could try this, and it really does sharpen the brain and keeps the mind working in a different way. Helps a lot. It's really cool seeing the 8 instead of the A, and it really shapes everything and formats the brain much better. What if you play diagonally like this, and then you change around? I mean, you can change the position every 5 moves, for example. First you play as white, and then you play as black. Every 5 moves, you change the position. For example, let's see, maybe every 3 moves actually, or 4 moves. Let's see, go back. Put this here. Okay, so what you can do, for example, just play out like 3 moves or something. And then you go over here, for example. Go over here. And now, make one more move. And you're black. No, wait. Doesn't make sense? I think to wait this out. Yeah, now it's like this. Every 3 moves. Now, they move as white. So they go here, for example. It could be different. You could rotate it around and figure out new ideas. Come up with new strategies and figure out new games. Brand new games and new techniques. Really cool. I wonder if there could be more than one queen. So something a grandmaster doesn't do is change the rules. What if the rules can be changed? What if you can choose the rules? What if you can revive pieces? But then it's no longer the original game. It's no longer the original game, but you could still play it out this way. And it's sort of original. What if on the first move you can move 3 times? For example, I go here. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. On the first move you can move 3 times. Only the first move. And for the first move to black, you can move 3 times. Or if you could do that as well. A lot of moves are possible. That's easy to come up with. But what's difficult to come up with, something where the queen, in a given situation, you can move it once as a knight. But then it cannot give a check. So if it gives check, then you cannot move it to that square. So the queen can only move once as a knight. That's also an idea. Just once in the game. But it cannot give a check. It just moves away. But then you have to come up with better. Certain situations might exist where it's a different way. What if the king can move 2 squares? The best idea is what if you can move 2 pieces at once? But they can only be a pawn. A pawn that's another move you can make. So if this moves once, you can move a pawn just one time, another time. So make 2 moves and only once in the game. There's so many things you could come up with, and it could change the whole dynamic system of the game. It changed the whole game around. You come up with new ideas, it's fresh in your mind, and you figure out how to be better at tactics. But you must solve problems originally to sort of become better at the actual game. But if you want to come up with brand new ideas, it's better to create new rules and your new game. That's if you want to create new ideas. See, this is like supposed to be 1, but it's an A, but it's not. It's a whole new game. And that's the point. Once you create this game, you will be the best. You will shape yourself and figure out brand new ideas. And if you want to become a grandmaster, you have to work at it. You have to figure out new steps to take, new plans to measure, and new ideas to come up with. So if you do come up with these ideas, you'll eventually become a grandmaster. So you need to come up with certain ideas to become a grandmaster. Certain ideas need to be... You need to come up with these ideas. And if you do, you'll eventually be a grandmaster. As part of this is the highest title except for the world championship title. The best part of all is if you move it's different. So let me should I put it back in the original position and then come up with another ideas that I've come up with. Okay, let me put it back. New game. Brand new ideas. Reshape it. Okay, back to the original position. Reshape here. Here. This is the original. So maybe if you put it in the original, you gotta come up with original moves, something that is your style. And if you create your style on the board, you will be a better chess player. Figure out your style first, and you will be the best. Just continue progress, and you'll build it up. Okay, this is the original position. Now I move 2 times. What if a half move? No. Okay, so I come up with this move. Example, it's here. What if the opponent can move twice? That's interesting. What if you can move twice? So you allow the opponent to move twice, and that would make it. So for example, let's put this here. So if we move it as a knight, you allow the opponent to move twice. So example, he moves here, then he moves over here. So you allow the opponent to move twice, but you can move the queen as a knight. If you move it once as a knight, then you can allow your opponent to move twice. Or something you could come up with. So this force where you make your opponent move twice, it creates certain tactics that you wouldn't see on the original chessboard. It's a whole new game. A whole new game. So you create new tactics and you figure stuff out. Just by letting your opponent move twice. 2 times. So I let... Well, what could happen? Can you take over my knight? Let me check. So if I move here, can you take it? No, you can't. See? Can take my queen. So you could start out with the queen with a knight move. But your opponent can move twice. That's interesting. Or you can move twice. For example, you move twice like this, but the opponent might be able... Okay. We will have the initiative. So if you move twice, your opponent can move twice. So you go here, then you go here. But then you can just take and maybe your opponent then loses a turn. And you could go over here. Take turns, lose a turn. You come up with new ideas and reshape the game. Some people like the original game and continue to play it. But if you want to come up with new ideas, you have to find a way to reconnect yourself with the game in a different way. And you come up with better ideas. It's really interesting what we could come up with. What if the king could be invincible? Like, you move way over here, and the king is invincible for 3 moves. He can't be captured. Then, it might be a different game and completely. The king is invincible. Can't be captured. Maybe for 3 turns, or 1 turn, or 2 turns. Or 4 turns even. Like, you come up with a certain situation, and you create an invincible king. Where he can't be captured for like 3 turns or so. There's a lot of stuff you can come up with. And if you do, you'll get better coming up with new ideas. And maybe create an even better game. Even though people are used to the original game, you come up with a game that becomes transcendent, like chess 2 or chess 3 or chess 4. See, the king is invincible, can't be touched. And so, it's sort of like the 9th rank. You just call it the outer board. Invincible king. You could also protect the queen, maybe, and call it the invincible queen. A lot of ideas could be come up with. And if you come up with the right ideas, they might stay and become part of chess. What if you come up with something so cool, like it might be able to go this way as well. Like you go 1 square at the beginning. Go diagonally, but then it's different game. You could go just once diagonally. And that opens up the rook. It changed the game completely. You open up the rook, and the game changes completely. Open up the file for the rook. You can change it in so many ways that you invent. Create something really unique. The best of the best is yet to come. What else? There could be a loop, a circle. So what if you can swap pieces? Like the position of the piece from one square to another. Maybe for one turn, or to put it in a safe position. Like you might be able to move it, like, for example, maybe move over here. And it's safe for one turn. Then it goes back over here. You form new thoughts and have better ideas. The best move is to just play regularly. So you play regularly. Should I play this move? Play this move. Just play regularly. And then you could come up with tactics like this. So you could... It goes over here. I moved, so here. The idea is to come up with tactics that come up with in the game. Figure out the tactics that come up in the game, which is obvious. Grandmaster should know that. But what does a grandmaster not know? That's the question you need to ask. If you want to be a grandmaster, you have to know what they don't know. And once you figure that out, you will defeat a grandmaster. If you come up with an idea in the game. You come up with something that the opponent doesn't know, you win. Most of the time. So, the goal is to come up with what the opponent doesn't know. And you should be able to win. The best ideas come up from situations where you're stuck, where you don't know what to do, but you fight through and get through the ideas that need to be created to create a position where you are winning from the unknown to the known. You don't know it, but you create something and you figure out how to generate new ideas. And you create a position unlike anything you've seen before. I'm gonna take this king. I'm gonna take this king. To put a phone on charger. Okay, so we have a king. It's the most important piece of the game, which is obvious, because without it, it's impossible to check with the king. You have to figure out a story for the game. If you can figure out a story, you can reshape the game and memorize it better. So let's say, for example, you want to go for the impossible. Like becoming a grandmaster, for example. Which for some people, it might be close to impossible. There's a lot of ideas you could come up with. It could be temporary. You could teleport temporary. So here's a king. A king leads the army. And each move creates a different position unless it's repeated. So if you create a position where the king can be checkmated, what if it's safe for 3 turns or something like that? Invincible. You cast a spell and it's invincible. Indestructible. Cast a spell. The best part of chess is that you can think about it in your head. So the bishop is different. Your bishop is stuck if the king is stuck. So many rules to create, so many new ways of thinking. So I have a king. What if the king has different color? Like here is different and here is different. 180 degree, it's different. What if we can turn the king on and it's in invincible mode or something? And what if there's a time? I forgot about time. There's a clock and if you change the clock around, you could add 30 seconds in the clock sometimes. Maybe it's different. classical game. The king can move backwards, forwards, left, right. But the pawn cannot move backwards. What if there's a turn where your pawn can move backwards? A special square your pawn used to land on, and you win the game. What if you add luck into chess? For example, if you figure out what move, like it could be Simon Says. The game of Simon Says in chess. You could sort of add a new element to the game. Simon Says in chess. So, for example, it's pretty good. I haven't solved it yet. But I'm coming up with new solutions to figure out how to solve it. There's a whole new elements that can be added into chess. Maybe add the Rubik's Cube in chess. It could be like a revolving chessboard. Multiverse chessboard. A revolving chessboard. It could change dynamically like this, like that. Shift. Go upwards, go downwards. It can change. Yep. What if you could add like something like this to the chessboard? It fills up like time. You like sands of time. It sinks. It's really important time. You sort of invent and create the impossible. A whole new position, a whole new game, a whole new method of thinking. Brand new ideas. You have to come up with solutions to figure the game out. The game could be improved, but can the player be improved? What if you have magical powers in the future? Like a touch can change it into a different piece. You touch it, and it changes just by your thoughts alone. Your thoughts change the piece in the future. So many ideas. The future is really cool. Imagine the future. You have a goal, and the computer knows your goal. And so it might assist you. It might even tell you how to reach it. But you won't reach it without hard work. I think hard work is the most important part of life. The harder you work, the more you should achieve. It's fair for everyone that way. But is life fair? I don't know. It might be fair. I think if you work really hard, you can achieve anything you want. Until you reach limits. Then you won't be able to achieve it. Hard work has limits. Fair like not communism, but something better than that. Where you get what you're worth. But if you work hard enough, you should be able to get something better than you can think of. From the past to the future. If going from the past to the future looks the same, how would you know whether you're going to the past or to the future? Let's say you're blind. And if you go to the past, you wouldn't know that because you're blind. And if you go to the future, you still wouldn't know. You would only know when there's something that tells you, or something that is a measurement, where a measurement can be taken. If you can measure something, then you know how to get through it just by measuring it. So I measure like how you could approximate as well. So approximation itself might help you determine where you're going and how to get there. Measurements are needed to get to where you need to be. Progress can be made through measurement only. That's the only way of knowing whether you made progress, is to be able to measure something. You might still be able to make progress if in the future you can measure it. But if you cannot measure it, you won't make any progress. Something that is countable makes progress. Immortality. That's a good question. Is being immortal possible if it's not countable? If you can't measure it. Let's say I'm immortal. I'm gonna try to measure how long I lived. So maybe in the future, you can measure how long you lived in total, from one life to another. Even if you died, you might be able to measure how long you lived in total from one life and then lived someplace else or something like that. So they don't know how old you are. Like a star, you can measure how old the star is, right? Maybe there's a way to measure humans as well, how old they are. You can measure a star, see how old it is by the light, how fast the light, how the distance it is, and everything like that. You can measure humans as well. So maybe we're traveling somehow in space, and by that we can measure how long we lived, or approximate. There's a way to measure almost everything, I think. There are ways to measure. If you figure out those ways, you will know how to solve as many problems as you want, until you run out of problems that you can solve. So if we're spinning around and we eventually reach the speed of light, what will happen? Is it a black hole? Void? Or something important? I think every conscious being is important. Everyone is important. Everyone has something unique. You can make life better by having different outcomes happen. Really cool stuff is gonna happen in the future. I'm not being precise enough. I'm not being exact to give away certain information, such as how I'm just approximating what may happen. But there's certain answers that can be reached. And you have to be really precise to get those answers. Math needs precision, but what does not need precision? Just approximation. Let's see. What needs approximation? Something that is not countable. So, what if immortality is approximation? To be immortal is to approximate. Have many zeros until you reach immortality. Data is important. It lasts forever. It's forever existed. History is forever because it's going to repeat. It might be different. It might be a different way. But it's forever. History is forever. You can't change history. But history can change you. If that makes sense. If you have time travel, you can't change history. But you can't change the history that already happened to you. Only the ones that hasn't happened to someone else. You can rewrite things, but you can't do. Or can you? Can you not? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you not do that? Can you do this? Can you? So many things are possible. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Life is magic. Imagine life without the sun. Just live in darkness. What if you live in darkness for a long time after you die? Then light comes back to you. The most important part of life is progress. If there's no progress, there is no life. Without progress, there is no life. You could take it slowly, or you could progress later on. But progress is needed to continue. Either time, how much time you spend living, that's already progress. some sort of progress, change. So, change in time. Position. It's strange. There are specific answers to questions because you can measure it. Anything you can measure is specific. So if I measure how fast I move, I can know how fast I will get somewhere. I can approximate. If that changes, if it's like a Rubik's Cube, it changes. Dimensions will change, everything changes. You're doomed. Inescapable. Everything is escapable. That's why the universe might end. Everything is escapable. You're free eventually. Even if you're in pain, you're gonna be free eventually. That's all you have to wish for. Freedom. You're gonna be free eventually. So, no matter how stuck you get, no matter what happens, you're gonna be free. Freedom is something we all possess. We all have freedom. That's really cool that we all have freedom. Because you eventually escape the pain or whatever holds you back. The best stuff on earth is yet to exist, yet to happen. You can escape everything. That means eventually you escape everything. And you live forever. I believe that freedom is something that everyone has. Some people might escape and be freer faster, which is interesting. If everyone has freedom, that means that everyone is free. Everyone is free. You can go wherever you want to go. Yes, that happened to me as well. Sort of. I went back 10 years or something. I don't know what happened. It could be an illusion or something. But it's probably not an illusion. It's probably a factor of time or something. You never know how time works. It exists for now. What happens when it starts to go backwards? What do? What would you do if time went backwards? Can you imagine if you went back to Hitler time or caveman time or dinosaur time? Live with the dinosaurs. Yeah, me too. I saw white fog. This everywhere appeared. Time goes forward for now. My charger is not working. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go to my room and see if the charger is better. Charging your bote. Uh, this charger should be better. Spider-Man. I can't see anything. Sit here. The future is waiting. If the future is waiting, what is the past doing? It's fading. Something happens. Happens for a reason. There's a certain measurement that can be taken to show that it happened, or otherwise it wouldn't happen. So if you can measure something, then it happened. Then it's real. It's so thin, the atoms, that it only happens once. Can you believe it? Whatever is happening only happens once because of how thin everything is. The reactions are so... Or is it that way? If you go backwards in time, then you can go... There's going to be a limit. Everything is an illusion. Let's see. If everything is an illusion, then nothing is real. Not everything is an illusion. It can't become an illusion if it's not real anymore. But anything that's real, it's not an illusion. You have to figure out what's real and what's an illusion. What's real is you and me. What's not real, it could be the table or anything. It's just an illusion. But if you're real, what you experience, it's real. You can make it real. Your memories are real. I think we're stuck here for now. Our matter that we live in, we're stuck right now, right here. This is a significant point in time, and that's why we're here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We're in a significant point in space and time. Something is happening, and we're here, and we have to live this moment. We have to live this moment because we're stuck. It's an important part of time. And what does it mean to be important? It means that something has happened. Sort of like destiny. We're stuck in some the universe's destiny. Maybe it's not our destiny, but the universe's destiny. That's where it is. And we have to escape it. The real thing is that the universe is expanding. That's what's real. It's expanding faster and faster. Accelerating. It's gonna get colder. But there is an escape. Is it the question is this the only universe? Or is there more universes? Maybe is this the most if there are more universes, is this the most important one? Everything is shrinking. If what is shrinking? If you shrink, that means you become less. I have no idea. The best ideas come from where you find the right idea. You have to figure out what the best idea is to come up with something even better. I figured out a lot of answers to questions, but I've forgotten a lot of them. What is a star? It's energy, right? Then E equals mc squared is the power of the sun. So E equals energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. So, if energy is dependent, do you think we're energy? Any conscious being, do you think they're energy? Or is it just void? Any conscious being is energy. Dependent, always dependent on something. Immortal means forever. So a constant is forever the same. If we're immortal, then we're constants. That means we have a specific value, a constant value, or an approximation of that constant. I think I have reached the perfect constant. I reached the perfect constant. So if the perfect constant is 1, for example, that means that nothing itself, when you don't exist, you're 0. When you do exist, you're 1. There are times where you don't exist. Certain fraction of time where you don't exist. You're either 1 or 0. You're always constant. You're always 1 when you exist, and you're always 0 when you don't exist. So what's in between? In between is matter, space, gravity. What are the 4 forces of nature? So the 4 forces of nature somehow maybe there might be even a 5th force or more. You never know what might happen in the future. We're just constants. We always exist. Forevers. or constants, forevers. If you figure out what 1 is, then you know how to live forever. So it's binary. It's either you exist or you don't exist. Two is the most important number. The most important number is 2. Where's it? 1, 2, 1, 2. Countable. How'd you get to 3? I figured out how to get 2. You have 1 and 0. But if you can count 2, then you have 3. If you count 3, then you have 4. See, it's forever. Interesting, right? If you have 0, you have 1 for sure. And you have 0 when you don't exist. First, you started out as 0, which is 1. Then you're 1. And then you exist. Then there's 2 because you have 0, 1, which is 2. Then you have 3 because you have 0, 1, 2. Then you have 4 because it's 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's how everything happened, probably. It's just addition, addition, and addition. Forever up. I just figured it out. First it's 0. Then it's 1. Because of that, it's 2. 0, 1 equals 2. 0, 1, 2 equals 3. 0, 1, 2, 3 equals 4. It's a constant. It's infinite. Every number of the spectrum is there. Every number automatically is there. In seconds. That's amazing. But how fast does it happen? Because of 0, it's automatically 1, and it's automatic, instant. It's instant. You get the number instantly. It's instant. You get it instantly. We just existed instantly. We existed so fast, we don't know how we did not exist. It just happened instantly. You just exist. It happens too fast for you to not know how to not exist. That's the amazing part. Happened instantly. The answer there, you just have to search for it and figure it out. Happened instantly, can you imagine? Instantly. You just exist. There's nothing you can do. It's instant. It's faster than that. It's like uh as fast as what is instant? What's faster than light? So fast, it's so instant. It's instant. It's magic. It's instant as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Instantly. It's just instant. It's just you have 0, then you have every other number. If you have 0, you have every number. 0 is is every single number. Zero is the whole thing. It's literally if you have 0, then you have 1. Because you have 1, then you have 0, 1, which is 2 numbers, so you have 2. Then if you have 2, that means you have 0, 1, 2, 3, and so everything counts. You get infinite numbers. It's just infinite. This is how the universe formed. We just created by sheer... It's magic. It just happened instantly. Happened so fast that you wouldn't know where you're gonna be. The fastest known universe in the universe. Everything exists right now. Can you believe that the most farthest thing in the universe shapes who you are? The farthest thing. From there to here. Everything is good. The more conscious you are, the more freedom you have. The more responsibility you have. The smarter you are, the more responsibility you have. So the more responsibility that I take up on, the smarter I will become. That's the secret. If you want to be smart, you gotta take up more responsibility. And do the right thing. I just figured out that right now. I'm gonna think about that for a second. The more responsibility you take on, the smarter you become. The wiser. But it's more dangerous as well. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Most of the time. Everything is a mystery. And the mystery can be solved. I think if you solve something, then you know how much it took to solve it. It could be measurements of measurements of measurements of measurements of measurements until you solve something so difficult that you become better. Okay, I'm gonna go in like 1 minute. I need to draw something. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.